Pujya Swamiji, and honored guests from China, and friends in the audience. We, the citizens of the city, are happy that Chinese delegation is here in our midst for an exchange of knowledge and ideas. We are grateful to the organization which is hosting this visit. From 1938, when Dr. Kotnis, Dwarakanath Shantaram Kotnis, visited China, there has been an effort to strengthen our relations by exchanging delegations. But for a brief period in 60s, in the rest of the decades, the peoples of these two countries have been very friendly and respecting each other. After 1938 to this 2012, in between, way back in 1956, a delegation from India visited China, one of whom is Dr. Gopalakrishna, who is in our midst now. He is a well-known nephrologist. He was narrating this evening how the delegation enjoyed their visit to China. Sir, I am reminded of a Chinese saying which I learned in my fooding days. If you have one fruit and I have another, and when we exchange also, you will have one and I have another. I have one. The number does not increase. If you have one knowledge and I have another, and when we exchange, you have two and I have two. So this was the saying which we learned from Chinese. Sir, this visit of yours to this country will enrich our knowledge and in the process may also benefit you. Sir, in this country, till a few centuries ago, every habitat was self-sufficient in medicine. People were managing with whatever was available by way of plants, by way of minerals, etc. for treatment. There is one saying in Sanskrit which means there is no plant that is not useful for medicine. Perhaps the Chinese also believe in that. So this exchange, Dr. Kotnis, who started it, he was a legend and he continues to be a legend in China, though we have perhaps forgotten him. We are grateful to the people of China for remembering him, for honoring him by naming certain institutes after him. I can only say we are grateful to the people of China. So since I'm asked to speak only for 2 minutes, I think I have completed the 2 minutes. So, no, this visit, sir, such visits will enrich our knowledge. We, the people in this country, we want our relations, the relations between China and India to get strengthened. Exchange of delegations like this, men with knowledge in different fields, by visiting us, will take back with them lovable memories, which will build goodwill. So also the people, delegations which visit from this country to China, that we have of course experienced. People who visited China, they used to tell us stories of how the Chinese people loved us. For example, a little while before, Dr. Gopalakrishna was telling us, when that delegation, their delegation, way back in 1958 visited China, lakhs of people greeted them, lakhs of people. That goodwill, we cherish, sir. We wanted that goodwill to grow, and whatever is possible for us, we would like to do it to strengthen the relations between the two countries. We welcome the delegation once again. This is a very pious place, this Ramakrishna Mutt. Swamiji is here. We remember with gratitude Swami Ranganathanandaji. I was also a disciple of him. So the great teacher, he has built this organization, and I'm sure you will take with you loving memories of your visit to this institution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I want to say something. Mr. Sir has said that how to play a constructive role with an amicable nature, with an optimistic nature. Really, it's very good. Now I invite Mr.Liu Tongxiang to share his views. Please, sir.
Dear friends, good evening.
我沉痛地再一次告诉大家，柯地华医生已经逝世70周年。
Here, with a very sad mood, I want to declare once more the demise of the Dr. Courtney's this year marks the 70th anniversary of the demise of Dr. Courtney's.
因为他作为印度援华医疗队的最杰出的一个成员，为了帮助中国的抗日战争，他牺牲在中国，我们非常怀念他。我们这次来呢，就是为了缅怀柯地华先生医生他的丰功伟绩。中印两国先后组成了。 这是第3次联合医疗队要开展一系列的活动。我们的目的就是要把这种中印两国人民的友谊要继续发扬光大。
Dr. Courtney is one of the outstanding member of the 8 China medical team in 1938. And he sacrificed his life in China, in China's anti-Japanese war. And for that, our Chinese people will remember him forever. And by this visit, we come here to India to memorize him more. And I also think that this visit is the 3rd China-India Joint Medical Mission. By this visit, we hope we can further strengthen the relationship between our two countries.
中印两国这个历史悠久，文化灿烂，这么有很多类似的地方。
China and India share many similarities, like we have a long history and a great civilizations.
那么今天我们参观了咱们这一个社区文化中心，我们看到了这个有宗教文化，有医学，就是社区卫生文化。那么我看这个社区服务中心啊是文化繁荣，啊有图书室，有上课的地方，还有一个外语学院。这个中心是名副其实的一个文化中心。
And this afternoon we visit your institute, your cultural center here. I can see that you provide a very good environment for culture. You have the religious culture center, you provide a health center, you have libraries. So I think people can enjoy their life, cultural life here very good.
刚才有一位先生他想了解中国在宗教方面的有关政策，我简要给大家介绍一下。
Here I would like to take this opportunity to brief you something about China's religious situation.
中国对宗教文化是支持发展的，中国的宗教信仰是完全自由的。
Of course, China supports the religious belief, and everyone has the freedom to choose and to which religion they would like to believe in.
在中国现在有这么几个，就是一个是汉地的佛教，一个是伊斯兰教，再就是天主耶稣教。还有一个在西藏藏区，就是四川、西藏、云南、甘肃、青海这些地方的喇嘛教。
Now there are mainly 4 kinds of religions in China. First of all, the Buddhism, and the Islam, and Christianity, and also the Tibetan Buddhism, mainly spread in the southwest of provinces of China.
那么，宗教信徒比较集中的地方，像西藏这样的地方，它这个几乎每一个村庄都有寺庙。
For Tibet, in every village, the believers has its temple.
西藏大小寺庙就有近5万个。
Like in Tibet, there are about 50,000 temples in Tibet.
对，像色拉寺啊、扎西伦布寺啊这样的大的寺庙，它是实行的什么以寺养寺的政策。
For the big temples, they are adopting the policy of supporting the temple by itself.
它这个以寺养寺的意思就是说，寺庙里有一些土地，有畜牧业，有耕地，他们要进行一定的劳动生产，靠自己的劳动，他要解决一部分生活问题。
To support the temple by itself, which means that the temple has got land, and they can raise the crops and do the husbandry, and through that they got the money to support the temple.
另外一部分呢，就是香火钱，就是信徒们要去朝拜，去朝拜呢，他要自愿的留一些香火钱。最后一部分就是再不够，就政府给他们一定的补贴。
The second part, the financial resources for the temples, are coming from the donations by the believers. And the third is, if all those 2 items, the 2 sources are not enough, the government will provide accordingly.
在内地，那么天主教堂大部分也是这样来维持的。
In mainland China, the churches of Christianity are also maintaining its living by the same way.
内地汉族地区信佛教的众多，但是呢，有很多地方他们自己不建庙，贴一张画在自己家里供奉。
But in China, we have so many believers in the Buddhism. But sometimes for the ordinary people, they don't build the temple. But instead of that, they put a picture of the Buddha in the house to
就
put
是
the.
佛像吧，是吧？那么，除非特殊的地方，像佛教特殊地方，像五台山，对吧？像这样特殊的地方呢，它这个政策跟西藏的那个喇嘛教差不多，大的寺庙差不多，就是有3个来源，收入有3个来源来维持，一个就是他们自己要有一些手工业活动，一个是香火钱，再一个就是政府要给他们资助。
For some prestigious temple Buddhist centers in some famous mountains in China, the temples maintain its living also by the same way the 3 resources, like the Tibetan temple has done.
随着中国改革开放30多年来，这个各方面发展都很快，寺庙现在越建也越漂亮了。
Since China has enjoyed its opening up policy in about 30 years, so every aspect of China's development enjoy a very smooth and fast one, and of course the religious situation also developed very fast.
广大的僧人教徒，他们现在充分地享受着宗教自由的快乐。
And the monks and believers happily enjoy their freedom for the relief.
其他文化，像咱们这个社区这个图书馆呀、学校啊，其他文化，我们中国是这样的，在城市里头社区，它要建文化站；在农村里头，乡镇建文化站，村里建文化室。
As for the common peoples to feed their cultural need, for the people in the city, we will in the community hood we will build the cultural station, and for the people in the village, we will build the culture rooms.
文化站、文化室，首先是政府出资给他们修建，修建以后拿一定的资金给他们，就是有一些基本的设施啊。 藏书啊，这个书架呀、电视啊，这个微机啊等等，全部要配齐，都是由政府出钱。
And the government will provide its initial funding for the cultural rooms or cultural stations, like to build the rooms, to build the building for them, and provide the basic equipment like a TV, like a computer, internet access, something like that.
这文化站的图书的目录内容，根据这个文化站所在地当地的村民，他们来提出要求，完了列出目录，再上到出去采购，政府给他出钱采购。
As for the books, which will have in the cultural center, the contents for that, we have to first inquire the needs of the common people around that area, and according to their needs, then the government will spare the money for the people to buy the books.
那么图书的种类现在我说不上，反正我看那个图书馆里，就是那个社区服务中心服务站里头。 它这个主要的图书量最大的就是科技方面的，那么饮食方面的，就是健康方面的，也有宗教方面的书。
And for the contents and the categories of the books in the cultural center, mainly it falls into the scientific one, health one, and some books about religion.
社区卫生服务中心呢，中国大体上是这样，就是在城市的社区设卫生服务中心，一个卫生服务中心下边可以管2个卫生服务站，在农村每一个乡镇有一个乡镇卫生院，乡镇卫生院下边管每个村的村卫生室。
As for the health center in China, normally we have the health center in villagehood, And then under that we have like 2 village rooms for the people. And under that we also have we will set up the health centers according to the levels of the.
中国的区划，不知道你们了解不？中国的区划就是由中央分省、市、县，那么乡，下面就是村。
As for the administrative level of China, we mainly divide it into the following, like the provinces, municipalities, cities, and township and village.
那么市以上一般存在就是建了一些大医院。那么小病呢，一般的病，它都在乡镇或者在城市的社区来解决。
In the cities, of course, we have very large hospitals, but for the common disease, people often go to the health center of the community.
那么我们在对这个农民、城镇居民、城镇职工，对于他们的医疗，主要是实行了医保制度。
We carry out the medical insurance for the farmers and workers.
这医保制度呢，像农民，每个人每年，2012年是这样的，每个人每年自己交50块钱人民币，由政府拿出240块钱。2012年一共每个人筹资290块。
As for the medical insurance, like this year, 2012, one farmer, the one farmer will pay for 50 Chinese yuan, and the government will pay for 240 yuan for the insurance. That will be in total 290 yuan for one person, the insurance fee.
中国现在大概有6亿左右的农民，这个数是很大的。 政府财政拿出这么多钱来，这个数是很大的，一个人要拿240块钱，大概6、7亿人，这个数中央财政拿的这个数是很大的。
You know, actually, China is a large country with a big population. The farmers' population in China is about 6.6 billion. So that's if we pay every farmer. The government pay every farmer 240 yuan. That will be a very large sum of money.
个人交的钱和政府补助的钱，一共290块钱，以县为单位放在一起使用。
And all the money just collected in the township.
这样的话，就说互助共济，他有一部分人不得病。 得病的人用不得病的人的钱，那么这样的话呢，就能够抵抗了疾病的风险，避免了因病致贫。
Actually, everyone, not everyone can have a very severe disease. So someone may use the insurance and someone may not. So it's a kind of a self-support system.
中国政府现在初步讨论提到2015年，每人筹资的水平要达到360块钱。
And we plan to pay for every farmer to 360 Chinese yuan till 2012 till 2015.
这样的话，他们看病一般报销的比例都80%以上，自己不拿钱了。
So by that time, so it could be totally free for the farmers.
这样的话就说，中国改革开放30多年来，经济发展很快，有了经济实力，所以才能解决这些文化问题、健康问题，那么包括一些宗教信仰自由的问题， 宗教寺庙的一些这个设施建设问题，因为它发展的30年有了经济实力，才能解决这些问题。所以中国有一位这个伟大的人物，就是邓小平先生说了一句话，说发展是硬道理。
We can conclude that all the achievements we made so far just because of all credit to the 30 years opening up policy, China's economy has developed very fast. And accordingly, the aspects of the in the field of the religion and culture, so it's also developed very fastly. And we can quote from our leader Deng Xiaoping he once said that development is a development is a core reason for our present achievement.
我就简单介绍一下中国这几个方面的情况，它都属于大文化的范畴。那么最后感谢今天这个社区给我们安排了这么好的条件，让我们在这儿给大家见面。那么要感谢大家对我们的热情接待，谢谢大家。
That's all the conclusion, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your long speech. Now we came to know the language barrier. Now I requested Swamiji to address the session.
Let us move from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Om peace, peace, and peace. Respected members of the Chinese medical delegation, respected Venkatesh Rao Garu, other respected doctors, our friends from the Indo-Chinese Friendship Association, Namaste and greetings to all of you. We welcome you all to our Institute of Human Excellence and the Ramakrishna Mutt. Out of the numerous civilizations and cultures that prevailed in the world, it is only the Indo and Chinese cultures and civilizations which are standing the test of time and which are continuing to spread their fragrance and vitality in the whole world. If the ancient sages, Vivekananda says, come back to India, they would find the worship, the meditation and other ceremonies going on as it was, unbroken last thousands of years. Similarly with the Chinese culture and civilization, if Confucius or Lao Tzu would come and visit Beijing or Shanghai, they would not see any difference except for the buildings and the bullet trains. On the one hand, the civilization, science, technology, medicine, business, globalization, these are all for our social welfare, for making us comfortable, for overcoming the diseases, mental, physical, etc. But something different in India and China is not just physical health, but the deep spiritual culture. That makes a difference. Swami Vivekananda, in whose name we have this institute, traveled to America 1893 to participate in the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago. That is how he became world famous. An unknown monk who is called as Swami I was reading a small question by a newspaper to a Chinese writer. He says, Chinese name for Vivekananda. I may be wrong in pronunciation. I request our translator, interpreter to help me. The Chinese Buddhist term, which means, there are two names there, Viveka and Ananda. Viveka, the Chinese Buddhist term is beyond. Am I right? Beyond? Then, it is called spiritual discrimination or Viveka. Well, there is a Beijing University professor who has written a book in Chinese. The title is The Modern Indian Philosopher Vivekananda, a Study. He is also the Vice President of the Committee for Comprehensive Study of Ramakrishna Vivekananda Movement in India and China. Some of our Swamis had visited Beijing University, and there is a small study group in China to study Indian culture, Upanishads and yoga. So, Swami Vivekananda, he writes in a letter about the labor classes of China, how strong they are. He said, the Chinese child is quite a philosopher and calmly goes to work at an age when your Indian boy can hardly crawl on all the fours. He has learned the philosophy of necessity too well. This shows Vivekananda's enormous sympathy towards the miseries of the children of China in the old society. Vivekananda was the most eminent figure among the democratic patriots in India. He paid high tributes to our glorious ancient culture and loved the Chinese laboring people. We pay homage to him. This is a tribute from the Beijing University professor. And there is another story of a philosophy professor in Beijing University. He was asked his future plan about what he will become in future. He said, if I have another birth, I would wish to be born in India, where the Buddha was born, lived and died. So that is the wonderful relationship from Buddha till modern times, last 2,500 years. And here, in Ramakrishna Martin Mission, the Human Excellence Institute is like a hospital. But we don't treat physical diseases here. We treat the disease of the mind and the heart. The depressions, the anxieties, the fear, lack of positive thinking, awareness of Indian culture. These are the things that are taught to young children of India, the student community. This is 12.5 years old institute. We have trained more than 7.5 lakh people on various aspects of life. One of them is yoga, which is not yoga asanas alone. Yoga is a way of life. Whatever you do is yoga from the Indian point of view. Whether it's cooking a meal, whether it's washing clothes, or whether it's treating a patient, everything is worship. Yoga is worship. To attain that state, we need exercise. We need breath control. We need peace of mind. We have a saying in India, if you want peace of mind, you have to meditate. But if you want to meditate, you should have peace of mind. That is where we make a mistake. We think I can meditate 1 hour and do whatever I like in the society. No. Yoga says the man at work can be a meditator. Buddha followed this great principle. Whatever he did was meditation, mindfulness. seeing God in man. So Swami Vivekananda comes in the modern times as the modern Buddha, full of compassion, full of love, full of feeling for the people, whether it's laboring class, whether it's the middle class, whether it's the workers, whether it's the high officials. Everybody has to be looked upon as divine. Each soul is potentially divine. That is the ancient Indian concept of worship. If I am divine, if there is potentiality inside me, each one of you here is divine. We are all part of that one family. So when I speak of Indian culture, just 2 minutes, it is translated as Samskriti, which is again understood as purification, elevation and refinement. As some of you know, all of us know, crude oil brought out from the base of the earth, it is not sent to the petrol bunks. It will be a waste, but it is sent to the refinery. It is purified. Then the pure oil goes into the market. The engines, the planes, the vehicles all are moving because of pure oil. Through yoga, through meditation, through deep thinking, we purify our mind and heart. The crudeness, jealousy, suspicion, infatuation, and all other things will be purified in the fire of yoga. So for an Indian, everything is worship. The food that we take is taken as prasadam, an offering to God. Whether it's a sweet or whether it is rice, it is offered to the divine in any form. We have varieties of divine beings, so each one follows a particular tradition, but the goal is the same. So Samskriti, all of us according to Indian tradition are born under a category called Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. There are birds, there are fish, snakes, animals, insects, ants, all are Prakriti, which are born. All have to go out, they have to die, disintegrate, become again nature. But I have a choice. You have a choice. From Prakriti, ordinary human level, I can rise to Samskriti, the culture, the divinity. That is where our human excellence, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the teachings of the great saints of our state or of other states in India, they elevated life to Samskriti. If I don't do that, just eat, sleep, do some business, and one day die, what happens? My mind does not remain the same. It will drop down. It is called Vikriti, crudeness, bad attitude, hatred. All these are Vikriti, crude form in the society. Today there is a big confusion. What exactly is culture? So for that we have published a book which we'll be giving to all of you. It is called Indian Culture, Its Timeless Appeal and Ageless Charm. This will be given to all our Chinese friends. It is a special issue of our monthly journal published from Chennai, exclusively on Indian culture. Because Swami Vivekananda's 150th birth anniversary is being celebrated in the whole country. Vivekananda is the pioneer of breaking the old traditions and spreading this message to the whole world. So Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and from Gujarat in the western coast of India to the northeast, that is Tripura or Arunachal Pradesh, the celebrations are going on in towns, schools, colleges, giving people the inspiration, the culture to rebuild India, both in science, technology, and in spirituality. Our backbone is spirituality. The Chinese backbone is spirituality. The other things, you have the concept of yin and yang, the Taoism. We have the concept of Purusha and Prakriti, the male and the female concept of worship. So similarly, in our personality, we have to elevate ourselves from zero to the highest point. That is education. Education is not just science, technology, or business management, or health. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. That which is there is being brought out. How and why? You have to study the Upanishads or few stories from our culture to understand what is inside is brought out. Like a seed which is sown in the soil, from the unknown's energy, a huge tree comes. The banyan tree, the mango tree. Where was that tree hidden in the seed? So it needed that small apparatus, water, manure, fertilizer, etc. So we have to understand this. Last 115 years, the Ramakrishna Mutt and mission is there. We have centers in Russia and France, in so many other foreign countries, and India, of course, in every state. Started 115 years ago. There are wonderful books, time available. You can have a look in our bookshop, and we'll be giving you 1 or 2 small books of our culture, heritage, for you to read, understand. So it is not just business. We'll have to have a relationship at the spiritual level, at the personal level. So medical science is not just only of the body, it is of your mind also. When the mind is healthy, the body will be healthy. And the entire family and society will be healthy. So yoga is efficiency in action. Yoga is efficiency in action. So whatever we do in hospital or in meditation, the goal is excellence, human excellence. So I congratulate the organizers of this small meeting, appreciate the interest and initiative taken. The journey is very long, but then all of us put together, whether it's a man at work or a man in meditation, can come together and make Indo-China relationship more strong, more pure, and more purposeful for entire humanity, because Europe is afraid of China and India. Because of our knowledge, of our confidence, and of making a difference. So India and China, you are already high up in Olympics. America is very much afraid of you. Next Olympics, what will happen? China will take all the gold medals and make a difference. So you have got the energy, you have got the training, the discipline, which we should learn from you, and we will contribute for your peace, joy, strength, and make a wonderful world in the future. Thank you. Namaste. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.